Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys the Scholar's Mate and also, well, doing some tactics with it on chess.com from 0 to 400. Hopefully this helps you out on identifying it and maybe even stopping this checkmate from happening to you. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go and do a brief explanation about it and then we'll do some tactics. Here for a Scholar's Mate, we're going to be going pawn to e4. Now this is a very good and strong move here because it lets out the queen and bishop, which are the two pieces that we're going to be using for the f7 checkmate. This is the weakest pawn next to the king. How do we know this? Well, very simple. Let's just look at the pawns next to the king. There's 3 pawns next to the king, right? And, well, let's take a look how many protectors we have for the d7 pawn. Did you count? Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces defending. So if you want to win on d7, you're going to need at least 5 pieces. And that's more than half your army over here. All right, what about e7? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces yet again. So again, if you want to attack on e7, you're going to need at least 5 pieces. All right, on f7, how many defenders do we have? Just 1. That's why a lot of attacks happen on f7. And as I said before, we're going to be using our queen and our bishop to attack on f7. So let's go and do it. e4, typically black will respond with e5. And here, like I said, we're going to be targeting this f7 pawn. So bishop to c4 gets played. And here black has a plethora of moves. We'll go ahead and say black plays knight to c6 here. And here, well, there's 2 squares for the queen to move to threaten checkmate. I like to use h5. Not that I play this checkmate too often, but I like to use it. Queen to h5 plays because it's going to attack on the diagonal. Now, you could play queen f3, but I think a lot of people are very good when it comes to seeing vertical. While, you know, when it comes to horizontal or, I'm sorry, diagonal, this is actually hard for many people to see. And a lot of beginners here will make the simple mistake of knight to f6 attacking the queen because they see this good idea of developing with the threat. Unfortunately, they missed the idea completely here for the wayward queen attack, and here we're just running checkmate on f7 here. So you can see the queen and bishop. Which one do we take with here? Well, you have to take with the queen to get the checkmate. Notice that bishop takes f7 is a good check here, but after king e7, we realize we are in trouble here for black, or for white here, because the queen is the only protector here. With the bishop check here, well, the bishop's only controlling the light square, so the king goes to e7, and the knight's attacking the queen. Actually, black is winning now. So here, just remember, to do the wayward queen attack, or the scholar's mate here, we're going to play queen takes on f7 for checkmate. Alright guys, let's go and switch over. Now that we know the checkmate pattern, we're going to go over some games, or some tactics, on trying to get these. We're going to go ahead and do 10 together. So we're going to go ahead and switch over here. And yeah, let's get to it. In this first one, we see that the pieces are already set up. And just remember, f7 is going to be the weak square whenever you're playing with the black pieces, and f2 is going to be whenever we're attacking with the black pieces, or white's weakness is f2. Here we see the queen and bishop are on typical scholar mate positions. Remember I said you can either go to f3 or go to h5. Hopefully you spot the target. Queen is over here on f7. Now typically it is a bishop, but you can use a knight also for the scholar's mate idea. So here we go, queen to f7, check and mate. So the queen does a great job on covering these other squares, and the queen attacks the king. The king cannot take as the bishop protects. Okay, on to the next one. Here we go. Awesome. Now we actually get to see from the opposite side of this. Knight j5 gets played. You can see white has their own threat, trying to get a check on f7 here, but now it's black's turn, and when they move the knight, they moved right out of it. This is very typical for many people to miss this. So, where's the weakness? Remember we said whenever black's playing on this and we're attacking white, it's actually the f2 pawn. So here we go, bishop's attacking on f2, queen's taking f2, simple chess, queen takes on f2, check and mate. All right, on to the next one, here we go. Awesome. This one goes over that idea I said, the wayward queen attack. The queen moved to h5 to attack down the diagonal. The better way to defend this is going to be pawn to g6, which blocks the queen and also attacks it. Knight f6 gets played to attack the queen, trying to scare her away. But here we got the bishop and queen on the right squares. Queen takes on f7. Here we go, checkmate yet again. Awesome. On this one, we're going to see a different little pattern here. Although the bishop and queen are both attacking on f7, this time the queen's not on f3 or on h5. Here the queen's in front of the bishop. Always a good idea to get the checkmate here on f7. As we can see here, black did not make any moves to defend on f7 after queen to d5 was played, or bishop over to c4. Here the pawn's attacking the queen. How did you know I wanted to move my queen? Thank you. Queen takes on f7. Checkmate. Hopefully you're getting them just as fast. If not, feel free to push pause, and you can try to figure them out yourself before I go ahead and do them, because I'm going to be doing them as fast as possible. I'll try to slow down for you guys, though. Awesome. Knight takes on a1 got played, and I already see the checkmate. Here we see the queen on h5, standard square, bishop on c4, standard square. Here we go. Queen takes on f7, checkmate. All right, on to the next one. Oop, another basic one here. Although the pieces are all a little bit different here, we do have the same checkmate here with the bishop on c5, the queen on f6. What was the weak square for white whenever their king is in the center? It's the f2 pawn, and here comes the queen. Queen takes on f2. 4 more. Here we go. This time pawn c6, and again we see the queen and bishop on this diagonal. And here, where's the square? Queen to f7, check and mate. Ooh, this time black is able to win a pawn. This is actually a very standard idea I've seen. White will play pawn to g4, at least in scholastic tournaments. White plays pawn g4 to play g5 to kick the knight. And here, black goes ahead and takes the pawn on g4. And, well, if he had taken with the bishop, this would have been a lot better as the knight continues to block. But after knight takes g4, this was definitely a mistake. What do you play here? Simple chess. Queen takes on f7, checkmate. Don't forget, you must have the bishop or a knight guarding you for this checkmate pattern. Ooh, interesting. This one's a little bit more advanced because it's not actually set up in the beginning phase of the game. You can see that black has actually got a lot of pieces out. White's actually castled their king. So how is this Scholar's Mate again? The bishop's on c4. There's a pawn blocking this, which is a good way to block a lot of these f7 checkmates. But here we see the f7 square is again weak. Remember, the queen cannot checkmate by herself. So what do you play? Let's bring in that bishop. Here the bishop goes to g6 check. The rook has nothing better to do than to block, as the king could not move anywhere. Remember, when you are in check, perform that CPR, capture, protect, or run. Here the rook blocks, and how do we take? Simple chess. Queen takes on f7, checkmate. And here we get the basic checkmate pattern, which is the queen on f7. All right, last one here. All right, another easy one here. Here we see the exact same pattern, except this time, for the first time, we will see it with the black side of this, where the bishop and queen are actually on the diagonal together. And what was that weak square? Hopefully it's burned into you and you can find these checkmates really fast. It's queen over to f2 for check and mate. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. This was one of the beginner versions for spotting the Scholar's Mate and using it in your chess games. Hope you guys liked it. Go and give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.